And hello, everybody. Welcome to another Atlanta All-Around Sport Podcast, or you can call us the Atlanta Teen Sports Center, whatever you want to prefer. And I'm here with my co-host. I'm Blake Newsom, your host, along with my co-host Ryan Barnett and Jordan Ashley.
Hello once again.
And this is the Hawks pregame show on Spreaker.com. The Hawks have a big game upcoming tonight, placing the second seed in the East, the Boston Celtics, and Jordan, what are your keys tonight on having the Hawks getting the win?
The Hawks, they have to get the ball inside to Dwight Howard. He has to be a big man on Amir Johnson, and they're not able to guard him. Then Dennis Schroeder has to be able to hit the mid-range shots and come in and drive the paint and get open shots, and then you have to have a big night from Hardaway or Ilya Silver or even Millsap. If they can get it going, man, it's also a good chance to win tonight.
Ryan, do you have any thoughts?
All I think right now is they just need to get off this losing streak. Just keep going.
So, my factor is I'm a big Florida fan, so I can't really hate him that much, but Al Horford used to be my favorite player on the Hawks. I saw him in his return to Atlanta earlier this year, and the first time Boston came to town, and I had his jersey, hanging his jersey from a hanger at the game, and it was just fun. But I hope the Hawks are able to contain Al Horford against Dwight Howard, because those two like to get a little angry at each other whenever they play, so that'll be an interesting matchup to see. And then the Hawks need to contain Isaiah Thomas throughout the game, not just the fourth quarter. Contain him and Al Horford, and they should be in a good chance. Moving on, who do you think will come out with the most points in the game if the Hawks are able to pull out the win?
The most point, my thought, with Dennis Schroeder being guarded by Isaiah Thomas, he usually has big nights against these big teams in these big games. So I'm going with Dennis Schroeder. I'm saying he runs out, he pulls out 29, 26 points in this win against Boston with Dwight Howard right on his tail.
And before I say my thoughts, and before Ryan gets to his thoughts, I'm going to go ahead and say this is Ryan's first podcast with us on the Atlanta Teen Sports Center, and look forward to him seeing some lacrosse and some UGA podcasts in the future from him. So, Ryan, what are your thoughts, and what Hawk do you think will have the biggest effort if the Hawks are able to pull out the W tonight?
I don't know enough about basketball to give a good input on this.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm thinking right now is really the Celtics are the favorite. So the series is tied 1-1. So I think the Hawks just need to come out with this big win. And score-wise, probably Hawks win in the 90s.
Okay. So Jordan, what is the biggest factor of the Hawks containing Isaiah Thomas in the fourth quarter? What do you have to do to be able to keep him contained and be in a position to be able to win the game late at that time with Isaiah Thomas on the court?
From what the stats are showing and from what I've seen and what he played, I think in order to stop Isaiah Thomas, you have to be able to keep him from getting wide open shots. You look at him, you can't just double team this man. He will get open shots. You got to be on him. You have to watch his every step. You have to make sure he's not driving the lanes and being able to get his wide open spaces. You got to have Dwight Howard in that paint in case he wants to come in and try to lay that ball up. But you got to have Dennis Schroeder, Tim Hardaway, Ilya Silver, Millsap, Bazemore, and put it out on the wings and the top of the key to make sure he's not hitting those threes that can be hit out of nowhere.
And for the Hawks, I think there's injury report out there. Thomas Ephalosha out tonight. Tyler Zeller out for the Celtics, but also Kent Bazemore and Malcolm Delaney also out. And making sure that anybody else isn't. So give me 1 second. But Millsap also out tonight. So that this is not the easiest game for the Hawks right now, especially playing the second team in the Eastern Conference and having 4 of your key players out. So now that we just realized that, I've kind of changed my mindset on it. But why? Do you think if any of these players were able to play Ender tonight, how would their factor be in getting the Hawks the dub? Ryan?
I don't really think with injuries they'd be that much of a help. I mean, what they need to do right now is just the players they got. They need to get them ready. They need to warm up, play good.
I mean, they only have 11 players tonight, including Ryan Kelly, the role player. So you really only have a full 10 players on the roster that are going to put in minutes. But I agree, you need players that are able to put in the effort, even if they are injured. So, Jordan, what do you think is the biggest Hawks loss tonight, with Millsap, Delaney, Basemore, and Cephalosha out?
Their biggest loss. I mean, you gotta think about this really, truly. Cephalosha is not that big of a loss, but he's a loss, and Millsap is our biggest loss. We don't have that. We don't on the bench. We don't have that man who can back you up inside on the high post, turn around, hit that fadeaway J in your face, or anybody who can just walk up and pull up a three in your face and just wet it out of nowhere. We don't have that, man. We don't have that. 12 on 7-foot guys who's only 6'9", 6'10",
yes,
and come in and just dunk the ball on you. It's just you have to come in, and without Millsap, you have to come in with energy and the mindset of knowing we can beat this Celtic team.
And as you said the last show, that the Hawks aren't really coming in with the mindset of we can win with all the energy that they have out there, because it seems like when it comes down to a lot of times, if this isn't most people think, this doesn't sound right, but coming down to before halftime, that's usually when those teams go on that 8-10 point run on the Hawks, and same late in the fourth quarter. Those runs at the end of the half are really killing the Hawks in some of these games that they could win. So, looking at the records, Boston, 50 wins, 28 losses. Hawks, 39 wins, 38 losses. Series, as Ryan said, the season series is tied 1-1. Do you think Al Horford will be booed again by the fans tonight?
I don't see fans. We love our past players, but I mean there has been some fights between him and Dwight, and what they have done. I mean, this Atlanta fan base is really forgiving. You got to think about Michael Vick coming back to the Dome, and once you think about that, we are really forgiving. But there will be some boos and there will be some cheers, but I think there's mostly going to be some cheers for this young man.
Well, young, I guess you could call him young. He's 31 now, but yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's kind of young, I guess.
Yeah, kind of. Ryan, do you think he'll be booed?
I don't think he'll be booed as much as fans just won't want him out there as much as he used to play, just because he's getting old compared to how he was.
Well, he was not. I don't think that's a factor, but he got drafted by the Hawks in round 1, pick 3. I think the 2007 draft from Florida. He came off winning 2 national championships with Corey Brewer and Joakim Noah as their big 3. Ryan, what happened?
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys. Ryan, I about went FaceTime there for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, what I was saying was Al Horford played there for many years. They had a tribute video when I was there earlier this year. They had a cheers for for AKA boss Al Horford, but other than that, I think it's going to be stern cold boos, and I think it's going to be a very tough game as it was last year, or not last year, but earlier this year. The Hawks were down 20 in the late third quarter, came down to tie the game with 10-12 seconds to go before Isaiah Thomas comes up and hits a wide open jump shot as Jordan says they need to stop with 3 seconds to go, giving the Hawks one last chance, and Millsap just couldn't
Hey guys.
do anything.
Guys,
Yes?
sorry to interrupt you, but I gotta go, alright?
Alright. See you,
I'm
Ryan.
gonna have to turn it off for now.
Alright, see you, Ryan.
Yep.
All right.
So it's just Jordan and I now. But before this, they suit up tonight. Really, I haven't prepared for the show that much. I'm just throwing this one out there. Sorry if my questions aren't as good, guys. But I I believe this Hawks team. Do you think going into the playoffs, if the Hawks are able to pull out maybe one or two of these wins because they play in their final games of the season, the Hawks' final schedule is versus Boston at home tonight, and then they go up to Cleveland on the 7th. The Cavs come to town on the 9th. The Hornets come to town on the 11th, and they on a back-to-back to end the year, they go up to Indiana to end the year. So this schedule really not looking in the Hawks' favor to end the year, as we've lost 3 out of all 3 games to the Hornets, losing 11 out of the last 12 or something like that to the Cavs, and the Celtics second in the Eastern Conference. What do you think the Hawks' mindset is once all of it clears out and they're in the playoffs, if they are able to get there?
The Hawks, they're a strong team, and this is one of those teams that keep coming back and they keep fighting. But they got to know that these teams aren't unbeatable. I mean, come on, the Cavs are never unbeatable. The Celtics are not unbeatable. I'm definitely going to say that the Hornets are definitely not unbeatable. But, we can beat these teams. We just struggle for some. Like, we come in, we're lazy. We're not hitting shots. That's been our problem. We need to come in with that energy. I've always been teaching this. We need to come in with energy and win. I mean, you come in with energy, you win. Because you hit shots, you may open shots, But we come with energy, you win.
And the Hawks have had trouble not with their three-pointer, but pretty much their whole offense, but one key is a three-pointer. A lot of people say the Hawks take too many wide-open threes, which is normally what you should do, and it seems like the Hawks are missing over half of those shots. But it's just this offense has not been clicking as well as it has been, especially after they beat down Boston a few years ago. I think coming up to this year, the Hawks had won probably 10 out of the last 12 meetings against the Celtics. Don't know if that's exactly right, but coming up to this year where Isaiah Thomas has come out of his shell, this young Celtics team is coming out of their shell, this fan base is getting back into it, especially with the addition of Al Horford. So, This is going to be an interesting game, and I hope the Hawks are able to pull out the dub. But getting away from the Hawks for just a second, I know this is a Hawks pregame show, but the Braves play tonight in the rubber match of the opening series with the they play with the Mets. Playing the Mets in the rubber game of the series. And what is the Braves' key to winning this game tonight and getting out with a season series win?
One key the Braves, in order to win tonight, they got Juan Garcia tonight.
I think
in order to get this first season win, it's going to take a team effort tonight. It's always a team effort in baseball anyway, but you can't rely on that kicking in the 12th. It's going to take everybody to hit the ball. That's what we've seen this whole series.
And one last question on the Hawks before we get out of here. So you heard it from Jordan. I'll say my thoughts first, but if the Hawks pull out the win, what's the score and how much do they win by? And how many points do you think Isaiah Thomas gets in the fourth if we're able to contain him?
I'm not going to say Thomas is going to do too big in the fourth tonight. I'm saying he has 10 points. He has 10 points in the fourth. But the final, I think the Hawks win. I say the Hawks win at home by 5 tonight. At the most, about by 5 with leading scorer Dennis Schroeder, and
I say, especially with Millsap coming out earlier today on Instagram posting, playing against my brother, which he said was with a picture of him guarding Al Horford from earlier this year. Hawks wearing I believe they're wearing the last time this season the throwback blue uniforms. So this arena should be rocking, should be ready to go. It should be a playoff atmosphere here in Phillips Arena tonight. So this could end up, based on what's going on, this could end up being a playoff preview just like last year. So this is a big game for the Hawks, and let's hope they win. My score prediction, I say the Hawks get the win by pretty much like Jordan said, 5-6 the most. But we hope to see a better performance than that. We hope to win by enough to set up role for the playoffs. But thank you, Jordan, for listening. This is the Atlanta Hawks pregame show at Spreaker.com on the All Atlanta Teens Sports Center. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Hawks and chop on Braves.